Welcome to kcheebplays, Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. Let's get started. Another weekly meeting and another boring financial report. Oolyov loved the success, but hated this part of it. His mind was on making sure Ludmila's dream became a reality. Access by rail had begun, but the rest was only planned. He readied himself for the end of the financial report. Their CFO was just wrapping up. She started to say, "Does anyone have any questions?" when Oolyov jumped in. "Thank you, Alina. Very informative. Let's begin the next part of the meeting with the tourist area, shall we?" Christoph sighed and said, "Oolyov, I think we should follow the agenda. We're nearing the completion of our new complex and have a number of things that need addressing. If there's time, we can have a quick chat at the end about tourism." Oolyov nodded and backed down. He knew that sigh and what it could mean if it was ignored. Christoph began. "As I said, we're nearing the completion, and I'm concerned about getting workers to the new factories. Our unemployment is at 4%. There's no way we're going to be able to fully staff those facilities." Looking straight at Oolyov, he continued, "The residences in Kcheemplays have not been started. Can you give me a timeline on when they will be complete?" In a confident tone, Oolyov replied, "In 6 months, Christoph. Should be just in time for the ribbon-cutting ceremony." Kalinka jumped in. "I like your confidence, Oolyov, but do you really think they'll be ready in time? Most of our efforts are being directed towards the factory area and the hastily put-together farm. I'm seriously doubting whether adding 8 buildings to the work queue will not change the timeline. We should have started those buildings months ago." Oolyov, as confident as ever, said, "If you're concerned about the timelines, perhaps we can delay the completion of the farm. We're well past sowing season and we can complete it in the fall or early winter." "That is something we could do, but not something we should be forced to do, Oolyov," Christoph said. "It was in your control, and to be frank, you dropped the ball. I expect you to pick it up and run with it. Am I understood?" "Yes, Christoph," Oolyov sullenly replied. "Very well," Christoph said. "Now let's have a quick discussion about tourism, shall we? Something I think you may have been spending a little too much time on." "If I may," Kalinka said. "I like the initial design. It's laid out well, but there are a few gaps. I've spoken to Ludmila about them, and I believe she's at work revising the plans. We'll need fuel storage, a distribution office, and a power grid." Oolyov nodded in agreement and said, "Thank you, Kalinka. Those were some of the things I wanted to bring up. But don't forget the airstrip, and I'd also like to add something we haven't considered. A passenger harbor would be a good way to round out the travel options. Think of it. Air, land, and sea. We're covered." Support came from an unexpected source. Christoph chimed in and said, "I like that idea, Oolyov. And since we're in planning mode, why not get Ludmila to investigate?" Kalinka nodded her approval. "But," he added, "just make sure we get those residents built in 6 months, okay?" Oolyov's turned to sigh. "That I will do, Christoph." Hi, Cheap here. So, once again, I'm up against the trio, or they're pointing out my flaws, or my lack of timing, I guess, is probably a better way to put it. We're really not very far off getting all this stuff dealt with. The constructions are in place, and I'm thinking it's going to be about 6 months, so that's where those numbers came from. I haven't really mapped it out completely, but it's something to shoot for. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but it would be nice. But as was pointed out, we're at 4% unemployment, and that's just not enough to keep construction going and fire up 2 new factories. So I'm going to have to start on, actually what I'll probably do first is cancel the construction of this stuff here. I think it's just the helicopter facilities down there, and try to get them working on the city so that we can have people to run our factories. Just going to cancel that, and looks like I've probably got, yeah, they're just doing the roads there. Yeah, I think we can cancel that as well. Oh, it's the road construction guys. Yeah. So we'll do that. It's going to be a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. We get back and get on all of this. So, to that end, we'll get these residences going. Got to remember again here, this is the kindergarten. Yes, that's going to definitely be necessary. And planning on using this new bus terminal or train terminal. I don't know that it's completely necessary, but I do want to have that switched up. But just trying to get many more trains in on this side is, you know, there's room to grow, but there's also room to clog things up. So I think it's probably best that we make use of that. I was thinking about that in the beginning when I put that together. So should also do the helicopter facility or the construction guys on here as well. But road-based construction guys. So we'll see how that all ends up working out. Our crews are working here. Just the helicopter guys at this point, which is fine. We can keep that moving. And the rail on the way down to the planned tourist area. So I did some quick measurements, and there's definitely more than a kilometer worth of runway that we can build here. I have to do some pretty substantial terraforming to make all that happen, but it's definitely something that can be done. And then, you know, obviously in here we're going to have we'll have to have some parking for some planes, and control tower. Don't probably need an airport road connection, and then a terminal of some sort as well. Don't think I'm going to be going for any of these mods that are you know, fairly massive. I mean, that's not that big. Some of them are quite, yeah, that's much more than this area is going to need. And that's just crazy for this area. Not in general. This one actually may not be a bad option. I've used this one a few times. We'll see what happens with that. Again, this is all going to be planned out. The airport stuff is a ways away until we start building our own airplanes, but plan for the future, right? I'd like to work in the road here. I think I'm going to swing it down around this way, try to follow that similar path to the rail, and then connect it in here. And then probably going to end up moving our indoor pool up into this area so that I can build in the road access. This is where we're going to have the fuel storage, and then also our harbor right along here. And feeding, you know, we'll have a pipe and a pump that feeds the airport as well as the harbor from the storage. So I'll start with the road because I know that's something that we have to have for our construction. So I'll turn the grid on, and in this case it's probably not going to help because I didn't follow the grid specifically here, but might give me a bit of an idea what I'm looking for. Again, this is a tourist area, so you want everything to be nice and shiny. Start there and try to keep it parallel. Leave a little bit of space. The rest, everything up here is going to be kind of the airport infrastructure. So want this to be somewhere in this vicinity. Don't want it too close to crowd it, but we'll definitely want that somewhat mirroring what's happening with the rail. Yeah, it looks like that should work out reasonably well. Bend that a little bit to make it look a little bit better. Yeah, I think that's good. And get rid of my nodes. Node in this case. Probably get rid of that one as well. It's going to be one mega long road to build. Maybe building it in stages is better, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know that I've built a road this long before, so see how that all goes. And then I want this to connect around. I'd like it to come in straight here. And that also gives a little bit more room for some of the other options. I'm thinking the distribution office should be right in this area, or possibly even down here. I think I like it better here because the distribution office is going to handle the fuel as well as the food supply, food, meat, and alcohol supplies. So I think it's probably best to have it closer to the things that we're going to be using a little bit more often. At least that's the way I try to reason that whole scenario out. So we'll get rid of that. And I'm kind of thinking I want to follow this shoreline a little bit to keep things, but I don't want to make that a big balloon around either. So give myself some space to grow into that area a little bit. Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? Just from a visual perspective, I wonder how I can make this look. Gives options for teeing off and possibly using this area over here for something other than, because the airstrip's going to be kind of along this line, and I'm thinking here, so might be an area we could grow into depending on the success or the failure of the tourist area. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure which I like better. I think, yeah, if I come straight across, that saves me space there. So from here, what I think I'll do, quickly check to see that we've got materials being delivered. Yep. Sure enough, that's good news. Might get Oolyov out a little bit of hot water with Christoph. Our cranes are still working here. Got, yeah, this might even be less than 6 months for completion. Although we do have the power that needs to get resolved here. I better make sure I've got somebody working on this. Yep, they're working on it. So all those things are planned, and yeah, get these guys going as well. Need those dealt with. Maybe I'm spreading things too thin, I don't know, but we'll see. Should work out okay. I'll come back to how I want. I think if I place the the harbor area. Now, 1,000 passengers, that's way more than anything I've been able to supply by sea for passengers, period. And it just reminded myself of another thing that I wanted to keep. I wanted to get this, as reasonably close to, but I also need finish a sentence, as reasonably close to the road as I can, and have everything basically within, and by everything I mean the hotels, within walking distance, so that I can tell the tourists where to go for their accommodations. This should probably work out okay. Try that at any rate. The Strakarov indoor pool, I think I just went for a vanilla one there. I should probably check that out to begin with here, where I start removing things and trying to figure out what it was that I had in there before. Yeah, this is just the vanilla one, so I'm gonna delete this. and take back the footpath a bit. This is another one of the beauties of going into planning mode, is that you can delete and add in as you see fit. Curvy road. Do I take this back a little bit? Maybe even to there. See if that looks better. Yeah. You need at least a little bit. Work with me. Not quite as extreme. Yeah. Makes for an somewhat interesting path down. And now our swimming pool. I'm going to zoom in a bit so that I can see that I've got things lined up the way that I want them to be. Yeah, that looks like it should be good. Tee that, and what I can do is leave myself a little bit of space for the road and then the next nodes kind of thing. And we can even build a back way in there. And it should be no problem getting getting a road to snap into here like that, no problem. Sure. Kind of liking the way that's looking. A little bit of a gap there, but we can fill that in with trees or other kinds of things. Just going to extend this up a little bit. And then once I get these main things all connected in, once this road's done, I'm going to have a path that runs across here. This will connect in and then come across here. The roads are reasonable walking distance or speed, but I like seeing people walking on the paths versus on the roads. Just the way I think about it, right, wrong, or indifferent. And then this will likely, depending on the walkability aspect, should allow people to get to where they need to go. So if I just kind of eyeball this from there, up, and then across somewhere in this area. Yeah, we're less than 300 meters just eyeballing that, and they'll walk 400 meters. So I think we're well within. Yeah, it could even be a possibility to join this and that. But I do like that kind of pattern that's there. So I'm going to leave it. Okay, so let's get some fuel going here. And I think there's a 300 ton. There's a 750, Rob 750. It's a bit of oil, not outrageous. It's got lots of connections. But I am going to need a road connection to this one. And then this should allow for a supply. I'm just moving it a little bit closer to the harbor so that we can have a little bit of space. And there's lots of space there. Maybe having it a little bit more centrally located. And then a gravel road up to it. Thank you for extinguishing that fire, by the way. Before Oolyov yells at me, I'm going to check all this and see if there's anything that I need to pay attention to. So back to this. If I do this in this direction, it's going to be sort of somewhat equidistant to the the airport and to the harbor. And 750 should be more than enough. I know both of those things do use a lot of fuel, planes and ships. Although the smaller passenger ships definitely don't. So, yeah, give that a try and see what, from a road perspective, that's gonna look like. Can just run straight in and probably tee into that area there. Thinking about the tourism and not having this kind of front and center. So anyways, we're going to need actually I think it's in the pipelines for the load and unload. There it is. It's my favorite little mod for, which was also going to need, trying to figure out which is the best side for this, because I want the rail pointed in that direction, most definitely. But I don't really want to cross over, and I want this to go up to the airport and this to go down to the harbor. So I have this on this side. That puts the road in kind of an awkward place. Could put that there. Or, yeah, even here, actually, is probably as good a spot as any. I could even flip it around. That way. Because that sort of points it at the existing rail. And it's only going to be a single line again. It's not going to be a traffic route by any stretch. Make sure I can get the above ground pipe in. Yep, that'll cooperate. And then likely use underground here. I'll see once I get to the point of building the road what to happen. But I'm gonna go check on. Oh, 94%. Haven't seen that for a bit. On the the construction here. Oh, our factory is nearing completion. It's like seeing them finish up. Oh, we got no workers here. Bus on, oh. Should have a helicopter coming along shortly, I hope. See how kcheebplays is doing for construction work. Kind of taken over a little bit, hey? A lot of those, although I don't know that we need much more in the way of resources, but we certainly need people down here. Yeah, got those laid out in the starting configuration. We can tweak that as we need it. Should probably have been started delivering. Steel here already. That'll be something that I plan out here shortly. Just need people and our power. So we're just about a month in and looking probably more like another month or two. So Oolyov's going to be in trouble. But we'll get workers down there. Okay. Let's quickly run. Probably going to want this to come off of the this existing junction already. Take that. Or is that my 150 meters? That is my 150 meters. So I'll probably go behind it, because these can be moved quite easily. Changing the length of that is not going to happen. So see what I can finagle here. This is the way in. Oh, that works out reasonably well. Okay, go there with my magic 50 meters. Bring this on there. Oops. And this one, see how I can make that look reasonable. Not sure I'm loving that. I can make it. Yeah, that works. That looks reasonable to me. Yeah, I think that works. And then this can maybe I snap this to about there. Yeah, that looks all right. Get rid of the node. Once we get a little closer down to here and, you know, get that all that stuff planned, and I'm happy with this, we'll get the signaling all done in this area so that we can continue on with our rail construction down here, which has typically been a little bit easier to deal with. Probably not a bad time to cut to a time lapse. I'm gonna be looking at getting some power down in here and laying out the airstrip and supporting air terminal. So we'll catch you in a bit. Gonna probably shoot for that half hour, 45-minute mark, somewhere in there. So we'll see you in a few. Well, I'm back. Just about got the planning process done over on the tourism area. I think I'm liking it. I'm not 100% sure how it's all going to work. Obviously, we'll be starting off with trains initially. We've got a lot of road work to get done before we can get that dealt with. And then there's also the whole tying the rest of the rail in. And the airport will get built at some point, probably closer to when we're closer to, I shouldn't say closer, more around the time that we're ready to start our own airplane production facility. See how that all pans out. But I've got like I said, I got the plans dealt with, so I think it's pretty much time to commit to the plan and run with it. No, Ludmila will be happy, which makes Oolyov happy, and Christoph wants to see a return on his investment. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know how much money we'll make off of this, but it should be an interesting area. So I think I'm going to go ahead and commit all of these things. Roads, pathways are already dealt with. Fences. And rail. Good to go. Pretty basic airport area. I don't know that I haven't built many of them. Built one that was a 2-strip one. Not really sure about the taxiways. This is going to work, and I'll have to connect this in so that we can eventually get that built. I'm just going to leave it in plan mode right now. But if you have any quick tips or whatever for how to build something a little bit better from a taxiway perspective, I know this will work. Whether it's even close to reality, I don't know. But my mantra, it's functional. So time to get everything, not everything, but time to get it going. We're getting closer here. I'm not sure what the holdup is, if this is a people situation, which most likely is. Really like to get this online, this episode. Might end up having to take a quick break. It's getting to be the noon hour, so I think what I'll do is I'll just pause this here, take a quick break, and I'll be back on to finish off this episode. See you in a bit. All right, I'm back a little later than planned on, but I'm back. We like to get residences, station, and yeah, I guess those 7 buildings done. We're not too far off, so hopefully, I mean, we've got enough workers. Should be getting through that stuff shortly. I'm gonna just kind of wander around and check on a few things that need checking on, and we'll see at the end for a wrap up. And looks like Oolyov's out of the doghouse. At least with Christoph anyways. He held up his part of the bargain. It was done in just over 5 months, or right around 5 months. Could be wrong with that, but it was definitely less than 6 months, so there's that, and he might have a little something to throw back in his face. I'm not sure. We'll see how that turns out. How brave he'll be. Yeah, a little oversight. Wish I'd caught that sooner. Got so wrapped up in all the rest of it that it just became one of those things where, oh, look what I just noticed. But we're getting all this rail electrified. This bridge should be, well, the one bridge is done, and they've picked up this loop. Just throw that loop in at the end of everything, because when you got two-directional traffic, you need to be able to, or you want to go two directions here. You want to be able to, you'll need to build those, and that's the only way you can do it. I could have built one here and probably done it a little faster, but it's a little simpler here. Don't have to worry about crossing tracks and that kind of thing. So anyways, that's what that is. And hopefully we can get this train. Maybe I'll hop on that. Just go for a little ride along because I haven't done that. Oh, and we're backed up. Lovely. No, I'm going to have to send him home. Timing on that was impeccable. He can't get home. Okay. Let's try something else. Oh, trains. See if I can turn him around. At least enough to let him out. No, it's not going to happen, is it? Shoot. Glad I checked. I might have to throw a waypoint in. Tell this guy to go. I can't do that. Oh, shoot. I guess I'm doing this. There we go. Okay. Go on, get out. Somebody move. These guys can really, well, when there isn't enough space, it can really cause issues here just when the timing is the worst. I don't know if he's going to be able to get out. Hopefully he's next in line. Nope. Don't turn here. Thank you. There we go. Okay, let's go for a little ride along. I haven't done this for a long time. On the train, the whole route over. We get some footpaths done and dealt with by the time he gets there. We'll see if he does or not. We got about 15 minutes real time left here to be able to get this finished off, and I'd really like to see both factories up and running, so be good. Big load of lumber. Shipping it off to our comrades. Like seeing multi-consist trains. Short trains look a little weird, but they do the job, I suppose. Yeah. The original fields. Gonna have to look at repurposing them at some point. And maybe get a little rid of some of this grass. Go do a little run down all the train tracks and try to clear it out. Doesn't look great. Easy to spot when you got these going though. When you're on a ride along is what I mean. My ads all on the right here. Yeah, he's going over the top. It's going up to the iron processing or iron ore mines. Let's see the coal processing over there. That was quite a chore digging that whole mountain out, but that coal that was there was just too tempting. One more grass, lovely. Makes me a little crazy. Not too bad, but crazy enough. Yeah, there's a lot of grass to deal with here. So our food production on the left here. Two huge oil, call them silos. They're not really silos, but they sure look like they are. Ship in the distance there. Should have that second ship done and dealt with there, and then we'll start building an oil tanker, a couple of oil tanker ships at some point. Should get all that other stuff dealt with. Pretty busy track. I like seeing lots of trains running around. Don't look to the left here. It's just a little terraforming that I didn't catch on when I threw the road down. My bad. Train distribution offices. Troublesome heating plant that I think we've got sorted out worker-wise now, so that's good. Chemical production and grass, more grass. These track builders are amazing how much ground they can cover in one go. Something that Kaya showed me, I was a little stunned when I first saw it. And I think it was in the in her Fjordland save file. Didn't even know it existed. I don't spend enough time looking for different mods. I kind of rely on Leaky's Mod Monday and playing the round robin also gives me an opportunity to pick up a bunch of other mods, things that people subscribe to, and kind of how I got my mod collection. I've gone in and done a little bit of downloading, and I've got a few of my people favorited and followed and all that stuff, but don't spend a lot of time scanning that. Wow, a lot of grass here. It's a little silly, to be honest. Right, let's go pick up some workers and head down to the factory. Went with 3 trains to start with. I wanted to see how that was going to staff that area. Excuse me, that area. Can always add a 4th. It's the new platform, just jammed with people. Perfect. Chris's Stalinka's over there. I just love the look of those. I think with all the different skins, you can find a way to make it fit in if you're building something in. Mine too. Right, take me away. Hockey rink. That's our hospital. And a jam up. Have to follow that a little bit closer to see what's going on. Bad timing, I suppose. Wow. It's probably at the junction. Talking to Dennis about the use of these no blocking junctions. He's not a fan. I kind of like building them, and they seem to work pretty well for me. Not really 100% sure why he doesn't like them, other than how much space they take up, because they do take up a lot of space. There's no doubt there. And I have had problems in the past when I've just tried using, excuse me, when I've just tried using level crossings. But as you can see here, they can block up. Yeah, and see the train behind us is not happy because they had to stop as well. I'd have to pick his brain a little bit more for how he builds his junctions. Because if you want something efficient, there's a person that knows inside out, takes the time to look at things and make sure that understand why. Very good at that. Good at explaining as well. All right. And we have smoke, so that means people are working. Yay. At least there. And we're not quite finished. So, well, enough of a ride along. Listening to me blather on. Interface back. Allow some workers in here. I know they can't get there yet, but oh wow, they're chewing through mechanical components. Well, next episode will be able to stop our imports of mechanical components and go on from there. Okay, we're almost there. And there. We can, or I can call it a night. Our rail offices. Still got four tracks to work on. Yep. They're pretty much, yeah, they'll be finished this electrifying this section here. And once that loop and the other side of the bridge obviously is done, I'll get these two finished up. And continue down here into this little, hardly a maze, but section of track, and start on the road. I could probably start on the road now, to be perfectly honest. that will take some time. Yeah, and that's all being done in one section, so it'd be a lot. Love that. Oh yeah, and we've got our Mistay substation as well. Find them hard to see. I got the other two built, and 3 is probably overkill here, but not knowing for sure how much power they were going to take. Yeah, they're only 20%, and this one will be less. Mind you, this factory isn't running either. 64%, so should be fine. It's not like they're particularly expensive, so get this pedestrian underpass dealt with. We just, yeah, that's built. And then, oh man, they did go through the steel quickly. Oh, we can have a lot to export. And that's full. Okay, 1 underpass done. And the other one, 20 days. Yay. Yeah, I've made a mistake building this with the single track one. I didn't think it would be that high volume a situation here. For, excuse me, for materials they're going to need. And it's looking, well, at least at this point, I don't know how much we're going to be going through chemicals for this plant, but okay. Dropping off a few more workers. And then we should be in business. Yeah. Having mechanisms on the sites really does make things go faster, whatever they are. You get impatient waiting because you can see it just ticking, tick, tick, tick. Need to get this road built as well. And these 2 bridges, those will take a little bit of time. Looking at the CO area, like the couple of little projects dealt with in the next episode, perhaps. Okay. Done deal. And I can get rid of this temporary path. I think I'll set up a screenshot. Call it a night. Thank you very much for sticking with me. I think this turned out to be a little bit longer than I'd planned on, but hopefully get to see you in the next one. Take care.